Breaking news here on SportsCenter. The Denver Nuggets have fired head coach Michael Malone and general manager Calvin Booth, sources told ESPN's Shams Charania.
And, you know, in the world of professional sports, when winning and losing is your currency, you know, winning can mask a lot of things.
From what I heard, he just said, hey, you know what, let's just get rid of both of them. And it's really unfortunate because Mike Malone is a really good coach. And let's be fair, Calvin had done a hell of a job. He's done a hell of a job putting that team together a couple years ago. I thought he should have made some trades to help out Nikola. But, man, it's really unfortunate because Mike Malone did a hell of a job. Same thing with Taylor Jenkins.
As I'm sure you guys know by now, the Denver Nuggets have done the unthinkable, finding longtime head coach Mike Malone, the winningest coach in franchise history, and their only coach to win an NBA championship. Now, one big detail you have to mention, Mike Malone wasn't the only guy who got fired, as of course Calvin Booth, their GM, also got the boot. And according to a lot of Denver insiders who are very close to the source, they say Mike Malone and Calvin Booth, it was a civil war inside Denver's organization. Mike Malone going one way, Calvin Booth going the other. In simplest terms, Mike Malone, he was on the veteran side, the old guy side, stuck up for his players and his guys. Calvin Booth, more so sided with the youth movement, guys like Pickett, Strother, Peyton Watson, guys he's drafted, guys he's signed. If you ask me, that singular fact was a big-time conflict between Booth and Malone, which ultimately led to both their destructions.
That's a damn shame.
And looking at someone like Calvin Booth, this dude made some solid trades, wasn't horrible, wasn't the worst GM in basketball. He wasn't that. He drafted Christian Brown, a phenomenal pick, and got Peyton Watson, another solid pick. Also traded Will Barton for KCP, and signed Bruce Brown. So Calvin Booth making those moves, tremendous props. Now, where the props end is what happened after that. Of course, letting KCP go, Bruce Brown leaving, then this year's trade deadline did absolutely nothing. Yes, you heard that right, Calvin Booth did nothing at the deadline. Out of the entire NBA, only 4 teams did nothing at the deadline. That being Minnesota, Orlando, Portland, and Denver.
And what is going on?
If you have prime Nikola Jokic, a walking 30-point triple-double, who's peaking as a player and offensive force, you can't do nothing at the deadline. The entire Mike Malone-Calvin Booth feud can be summed up with a Pat Riley quote. When discussing championship teams, why they fall, why they fail, here's what Pat Riley said. Success is the first step towards disaster. For Denver, that sums it up pretty clearly. Mike Malone had an ego, Calvin Booth had an ego, and in the end, both their egos got them fired.
What Josh Kroenke, the governor of the Denver Nuggets, expressed in his comments to the team media, he did not take questions, at least not yet, from the overall media, was that he felt that there needed to be a change, and he had already decided to fire Michael Malone and Calvin Booth at the end of the season, and he thought he should do it now. And he's also said something I think is very important, which is that he said sometimes wins can mask issues.
So stopping Windhorst right there very quickly, to say both these guys, Malone and Booth, no matter what, were getting fired, that's a pretty telling statement. Denver's ownership, no matter what, their mind was made up. Now here's the question. Why would you fire them at Game 79? If you ask me, it's quite simple. They didn't want this Denver team making a run, possibly getting to the West Finals. Because of course, if you do that, firing Mike Malone, it's not a good look. So cutting bait at Game 79 actually makes a tad bit more sense if you're destined to fire Malone as well as Booth. Now, one thing I do have to address, there's some kind of weird Jokic narrative conspiracy that all of a sudden he's a coach killer, he wanted Mike Malone fired, he knew about it, and he signed off on it. And of course, Kendrick Perkins, the main guy pushing this narrative on ESPN.
This firing doesn't happen without the okay from Nikola Jokic. And I know reports are probably going to continue to come out. I know this is fresh, but there's nowhere in hell you can make me believe with a player to that stature that he didn't have anything or say in far as Michael Malone being fired.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
There's a lot of superstars in NBA history who dabble behind the scenes. They want trades, want people fired. They just kind of fiddle the front office, have their hands in everything. Nikola Jokic is not one of those guys, has never been one of those guys his entire career. As of course, if he was Denver at the trade deadline, would have done something besides staying pat and doing nothing. And look, if Jokic hated Mike Malone so much, wanted him gone so bad, we would have seen some smoke, some indication things weren't on the up and up. But of course, on the court, to the media and press conferences, there was really nothing.
It's a big change, Coach Malone's been, my head coach ever since I got to the NBA. So obviously it was a crazy day. None of us expected it. None of us really.
And again, if you want to talk egotistical superstars who lust for the spotlight, want attention, Nikola Jokic isn't one of those guys. Much like a Steph Curry, he's kind of content, sits back, plays basketball, and does his job.
I knew a little bit before everybody, and he told me like we made a decision, so it was not discussion, it was decision, and he told me why, and so I listened and I accepted.
But there's no way in hell you can make me believe with a player to that stature that he didn't have anything or say as far as Michael Malone being fired.
Wrong again.
And look, when it comes to Kendrick Perkins being anti-Jokic, are we really surprised by this? I don't listen to Perkins' regular NBA takes, but if this guy is slandering Jokic, you can guarantee yourself I'm not paying any mind to it. And if you look past the flashy headlines saying Jokic, he had to have known he had a hand in this, and actually read the articles, look at the quotes, you realize pretty quickly that's far from the truth. As according to a source inside Denver, Jokic prior to being fired, yes, he knew earlier in the day before it broke publicly. And again, the source clarifies, Jokic not once requested Michael to be fired or the GM be removed. Yes, he was frustrated, but that was pretty much it. As again, Jokic in the past does not play GM. Now, looking past Kendrick Perkins and the media, you gotta ask the very tough question. Now that Malone's gone, Booth's been fired, what's their future, what's their core going forward?
No idea.
If you ask me, everyone but Jokic is available this summer. Yes, even Jamal Murray. And look, I get it, Jamal back in 23 was fantastic, otherworldly. Even last year's playoffs had some big time shots versus the Lakers. But this guy as a player's second option is totally unreliable and very much hot and cold. As looking at this season, Jamal Murray in the first 2 months was kind of ice cold. 18 points, 6 dimes on 42-33 and 79 splits. That version of Jamal Murray simply is not good enough. It's not All-NBA caliber, All-Star caliber, even second option caliber. But like we've seen numerous times in Jamal's career, the way he starts is extremely slow and cold. As of course the past 2 months to close the season actually played very, very well at that All-Star level. That version of Jamal Murray, that's phenomenal, fantastic. What do you look for in a second option? But here's the big time problem. Jamal playing great, what happens inevitably? This guy gets injured, hurts his hamstring, is out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, who knows how long.
I was just disgusted.
I mean, that right there is kind of Jamal Murray's career. If he's playing 100% healthy, a legit all-star player, a great second option. If he's not healthy, hurt, banged up, which usually is, you have no championship hopes, let alone West Finals hopes. Looking at Jamal Murray's contract, I mean, it's a hefty payday. 5 years, $260 mil. This year, $36 mil, and next year bumps up to $50 mil. Out of the entire NBA next year, only 16 players are getting paid $50 million plus. Jamal Murray being one of those guys. And ask yourself, is Murray a top 15, top 20 guy, even a top 25 guy? You ask me, he isn't. Next year, Jamal Murray's salary will equal Donovan Mitchell. That's absurd. And the guys making less than him will be Luka Doncic, Trae Young, Anthony Edwards, SGA, and Jalen Brunson, just to name a few. Like I said earlier, for some championship teams, their window is a short window they have to capitalize on. Denver, they did that, snagged a championship, bravo to them. For the future of their window, it looks pretty bleak. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.